Hello and welcome to the walking talking topic on simultaneous equations with me, Mr. Barton. Now in this series of videos we're going to go on a whole tour of the full range of difficulty of simultaneous equations, from linear ones, quadratic ones, dodgy looking ones, the full works. So if you can stick with me for the next few questions, then you'll be a simultaneous equations expert. Okay, let's have a look at this one first. Simon and, I'm going to go for Syra there, are on holiday in Devon. They buy some holiday souvenirs for their friends. Simon pays £2 and 5p for 2 keyrings and 3 pencils. Syra pays £3.20 for 3 keyrings and 5 pencils. They're all the same price. Work out the individual prices. So you've got to look at this and immediately you've got to think simultaneous equations. What you've not got to think is trial and error. Because here you must use an algebraic method. Trial and error is not going to get you any marks. So let's set up a nice equation here. Simon pays £2 and 5p for 2 keyrings. Well, we might as well use K for the price of keyrings. So 2 keyrings, where K stands for the price of the keyrings, and 3 pencils, where P stands for the price of the pencils, is going to cost £2 and 5p. Syra gets 3 keyrings, and she gets 5 pencils, and that's going to cost her £3.20. And immediately we've got something that looks a lot more familiar. We're back into simultaneous equations territory. Now it's up to you whether you make the keyrings or the pencils the same amount on top and bottom. I'm going to go for making the keyrings the same amount of keyrings, so I'm going to label my equations 1 and 2. So I'm going to take equation 1 and I'm going to times it by 3. Because that's going to get me 6 keyrings, and I can get 6 keyrings by timesing equation 2 by 2. So let's times equation 1 by 3. I've got to times every single term by 3. So 2k times by 3 gives me 6k. Then I've got to do the same to p. Don't forget to do every single term. 3p times by 3 is going to be 9p. And finally, £2 and 5p times by 3, if my maths is right, is going to be £6 and 15p. Let's take equation 2 now, and let's times that by 2. So 3k times by 2 is 6k, that's good news there. 5p times by 2 is 10p, and finally £3.20 times by 2, again if my maths is right, is £6.40. Now I like to then put a box around the letter I've made the same. And I like to say to myself, if the signs are the same, subtract. If the signs are different, add. Well, the 6k doesn't have a sign, but that's like an invisible positive sign. It's a positive amount of k's there, so it's going to be a subtract sign, same subtract. Now, a little trick here, it doesn't matter what order you subtract them as long as you're consistent. I don't like the idea of 9p take 10p because I'm going to get negatives. So I'm going to do bottom subtract top, 2 take 1. So I'm going to do 10p take 9p, which is just going to leave me with 1p. And then I've got to keep consistent, 640 take 615, which if my maths is right, I'm going to go for 25. There, 25 pence. Okay, now I've got to find the price of a keyring. So to do that, I've got to sub it back in to any equation. So I'm going to use equation 1 up the top there. So I'm going to go for 2k plus 3p equals 205. And now I know the price of a pencil is 25p. So 2k plus 3 lots of 25p is going to equal £2 and 5. So 2k plus, well, 3 lots of 0.25, sorry, is 0.75. That's going to equal £2 and 5p. Now let's solve that as an equation. So I'm going to take 0.75 off both sides. So I'm going to get 2k equals £2.05 take off at 0.75. I reckon, you've got to be flipping careful here. Oh, that's not a good start. I reckon I'm going to go for 1.30, I think. Hopefully that's about right. I'm going to check in a minute though and divide by 2. I reckon k is coming out there half of £1.30. I reckon that's 0.65. But I'm not going to trust, because I'm dodgy on my maths, I'm not going to trust that I've got that right. Instead, I'm going to check. So let's check, and let's check using equation 2. So equation 2 says that 3 lots of keyrings plus 5 lots of pencils should set you back £3.20. Well, we now know the price that we're claiming here. We're claiming keyrings 65p, so 3 lots of 0.65 plus 5 lots of 0.25. If this equals £3.20, we can all go home because we're laughing and we've got the marks. 3 lots of 65p. Well, 3 lots of 60p is 180, and then 3 5s on top. That's going to be 195, I think. 5 lots of 25p, well 5 lots of 20p is a quid, 5 lots of 5p is going to be 25p, so that's going to be 125, and hopefully when I do 195 plus 125 and add them together, 5 and 5, nothing, carry me 1, 9 and 1 is 10 plus 2 is 12, carry me 1, 1, 1 and 1 is 3, £3.20, nice one. So price of a keyring, where was it? 65p. Price of a pencil, 25p. And there's our first taste of simultaneous equations.